What's up, guys? It's Rick Ginn here with Flip with Rick, and it's Friday evening, and you guys know what that is. That's dad time, also known as Rick. So those of you that are not familiar with me, my name is Rick. I'm dad. I'm the one who actually started this channel, and my son, Zachary, which you all spend a ton of time with, works me with in this business, and our whole goal is to teach everybody everything they need to know about wholesaling, just like learning your ABCs, absolutely for free. So if you guys are new here or you're a regular, make sure you click that subscribe button. And guys, do me a favor, give me some likes. It helps me find people like you that want to find people that are sincere about wholesaling, actually run a business, and want to learn this business without taking out a mortgage while doing it. So, guys, come on in, and in the comment section, this is the time to connect people. Most people in here are like-minded. They want to get financial freedom. They want to get freedom of their time so they can accomplish what they want. And I believe everybody has the same intention. So work with everybody in the chat. Remember, make sure you vet someone if you're going to do business with them, just like you would regularly. I don't know everybody personally. I know most of the regulars on here. So, and then drop what market you're in. It helps everybody figure out where you guys are all from. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday. I know mine started out, really, really good. And hopefully with yours as well today. So today we are talking about the ultimate marketing systems. We are going to deep dive and do about a 20-minute section and talk to you how I have done my marketing over 20 years. And I have never changed. I've changed it for the better, but there's 4 or 5 disciplines you have to stick to if you want to get consistent results with your marketing, especially in wholesaling. And I'm going to share exactly what me and Zach do in our business. And guys, take notes on it. Remember, this is recorded. I'll have little topics on there we'll talk about. And as you have questions, put them in there. And then we'll take like the last hour and a half and I'll take all your questions. So I would love to talk about anything marketing today, but once again, I open it up to the floor for anything that has to do with wholesaling. Guys, you're absolutely nuts if you don't take advantage of the 2 hours I spend here today, giving you an absolute free mastermind. I've been doing this business over 20 years. I love every minute of this business. And honestly, there's no other business I could rather see myself in doing this. And I'm so happy my son does it with me. For the record, my wife does it with me, but she's behind the scenes. Maybe one day I can convince her to come out front here, but I doubt it. But we'll see what goes with it. So guys, if you are new to the channel, do me a favor. Everything we do is absolutely free. Go to freewholesaling.com and we will teach you step by step how to do wholesaling. It's a 100% free course. There's no credit card. This isn't a trick funnel. We are the only teachers, coaches, I'm not really a coach, educators out there that actually teach this business, and we do it for free. There is no trick, I promise you. In return, we build the biggest, baddest community, and you guys can come here safely and know you are not going to get pounded, and someone's going to show you how to do this business that's been doing it 20 years. So me and Zach have a combined 25 years experience, and I taught him at the ripe old age of 17 how to make 100K. And I'm here to teach every one of you the exact same procedure. So guys, freewholesaling.com, that'll get you started on it. But like, guys, we got to get in the mood. You got to get fired up, man. I know some of you guys had like a really rough day. Maybe it was a little bit tough. Guys, you are here to make a change in your life. 20 years ago, I made a decision. I just couldn't tolerate my circumstances anymore. And I found wholesaling. And honestly, I was scared to death. I had no idea if it was going to work. And here's the philosophy I adapted. You can always go back to your old life. I promise you, it will sit there. It's actually waiting for you. But if you want to leave it and do it with wholesaling, amazing things will happen in your life. So if you guys want to dive in the wholesaling journey and talk about the ultimate marketing system in regards to wholesaling 101, let's go ahead and get it. But you guys, you know what you need to do. Let's go.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. get up, and they got go. Time to wake up, bitch, get up. Get up, get up.
Sorry about that. Click the wrong button there. So we're good. So guys, that's the energy level it takes like for wholesaling. So I appreciate you all. You guys know I'm terrible on the technical side. So today we are talking about the ultimate mastermind marketing, and we're going to take about 20 minutes to go through this and then put in your questions. You do not have to wait till the end to put in your questions. The sooner you put in your questions, I try to start from the top and work my way down. As I said, anything that has to do with wholesaling. And as I said, I am here till just a little after 7. So let's dive into our topic. Let me see what I have here. The ultimate marketing. So when we talk about marketing, I love talking about marketing because that's in essence, when you're wholesaling, you have to be an expert marketer. There's no shortcut to this one. I don't care what anybody tells you. This is your niche. This is what allows you to connect with motivated sellers to get phenomenal deals. And you have to master this part. So we go deep into marketing at freewholesaling.com. Feel free to go there. As I said, there's no hooks or anything in there for you, just 100% free content. So the first thing you need to do when we talk about marketing and you're setting up systems is you got to have a marketing budget, because if I don't know your marketing budget, there's nothing I can do for your marketing. So if it's 0 and you tell me it's 0, at least I can work on a plan with it. Is it going to be harder when it's 0? Yes. Like, let's face it. If you could pay people to help you get your marketing message out there, it will light up your leads a lot faster and it's easier to go. Not to say that you can't do something on 0 marketing, but 0 marketing means you are going to have to spend a lot of effort, a lot of hustle. So nothing ever comes for free in life. So you have to clearly define what your marketing budget is. So if I was going to sit down and have a marketing meeting with you, that's the first thing I'm going to ask you. What's your budget? And some of you are going to say, well, it's $500. Some of you are going to say, it's $5,000. I don't care what the number is. If you don't know the number, you cannot start an effective marketing campaign because you're completely guessing and you'll get killed. So here's my recommendation. Get a marketing budget, get an Excel spreadsheet, and come up with it for the year. Why a year? Rick, that number is going to scare me because it's going to make you think long-term instead of thinking short-term, and you're going to make a commitment. If you cannot make a commitment to marketing, it's usually going to wane and you're going to suffer from lack of consistency. So if it's 500, if it's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. So if you said, listen, I'm going to spend 15, let's just say 2,000 a month just for a round number, and you're going to do it 12 months, that's a $24,000 commitment. Now, don't panic when you hear this number, because usually you should be able to get a deal within your first quarter to more than pay for the entire year's budget and get you off on the right foot. So think about it. If I'm going to hire an employee and say I'm paying them $2,000 a month, 2 times 12 and say you're paying them $24,000. Remember, if that employee is not productive in the first 90 days, there's no way I'm paying them, the rest of the 20 some odd thousand they're going to be owed. Marketing's the same way. It's just about adapting and pivoting. So most of you freak out when you have to do a 12-month plan and it scares you. Welcome to my world, guys. This is how it works. Now, you can always increase or decrease your marketing budget. I'd rather you increase versus decrease. So take an Excel spreadsheet, January through December, put the monthly that you've committed to, and you are going to now make that part of your calendar. Okay. If you do not spend this money, I promise you, you will not. It's not that you spend the money. If you don't take consistent, massive action in marketing, you are going to have a rough shot at going at deals. That's just how it works. So I've been in this business 20 years. The one thing I've always done from day one is I consistently market. I don't market on how I feel. I market on a schedule. So the first thing I set is a budget. The next thing we have to do after we have a budget, you write it in stone. Because once you write it in stone, it's no longer a thought wandering in your head. You are now committed. Now, once again, you need to know your why when you're doing this, because if you don't know your why, meaning I'm trying to get more free time with my family, my friends, I want to get financially free, write it down. And guys, I told you a little trick. Take your bathroom mirror and write your why down. I don't care who says it. It's something you should never, ever be embarrassed about it. Just go for it, because you guys are looking in that mirror 4 or 5 times a day like I do, and you cannot avoid it. Now, do not use a Sharpie marker. Just use a like a dry erase marker. They work fine, and you can update it as often as you want. And who knows? It might inspire somebody else in your family. So, marketing budget set. The next one, we have to pick our marketing channels. Okay. So, Rick, I've got a budget. And then the next one is your marketing channels. That's going to be SMS texting, cold calling, direct mail, ringless voicemail, driving for dollars leads, you name it, probates, reverse marketing, where you knock door to door, kind of leave notes and packets and stuff like that. So there's no wrong way to do it. I will tell you this. You need to ask yourself some very serious questions and make sure that the marketing channel fits your personality. Let me give an example. I literally hate cold calling. Like, to me, I'd rather scratch my nails on a chalkboard than deal with cold calling. That's just me. My son, Zach, he thinks it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. So if I forced myself to do cold calling, I'd probably do it for 2 months and I'd quit. And I don't want you to do that, because I tried that myself before. That's it. Either you have a partner or you can hire a VA. If you don't like cold calling and you know you're not going to do it, don't set yourself up for failure. So my recommendation is pick one marketing channel, go in it hard, and then find your number 2 most complementary market. And sometimes you find these by accident, just by doing them. And sometimes when they're successful and you make a lot of money doing it, then you get hooked on it and you'll figure it out. So the last thing I want you to do is try 9 different types of marketing channels, because you're just going to frustrate yourself. So pick one and go deep, and then have a backup one. And I'm going to show you why, because the goal within 90 days is get you another marketing channel to rotate into the one that you are extremely comfortable in. So once we pick the marketing channels, I want you to get it down to 2. The next one is a marketing schedule. Okay, Rick, what's the difference between a marketing schedule and a marketing budget? A marketing budget is just a commitment. You're spending X amount of money every month. And so on your marketing budget, you are now going to put a forecast, and to the right of it, you're going to put an actual. And then one more, you're going to put a date on the action it was taken. So in January, if I was going to spend $1,500, say, on SMS, then I'm going to put say January 3rd, I skip traced my SMS, I got it out, and I sent out 3,000 pieces. Okay. And that will help you keep your action steps. The next one is the schedule. So on the marketing budget, if you spent $1,500, if you budgeted $1,500 and you spent $1,500 and you did it in the month you did, pat yourself on the back, because you got to do this like discipline every month, guys. I'm telling you, this is not sexy stuff, but it's the truth. And if I sat on here one-on-one, I would pound this into you, because if you market based on how you feel, you're going to get killed. Okay. Marketing should not be based on your emotions or how you feel that day. Am I sick today? Do I have enough money today? You have to have a marketing schedule set. So the marketing schedule is, now you have a schedule, and this is where you quantify it. So if you were so now we're in February. So if you're spending $1,500 in February, you were forecasted, you spend $1,500, You mark down the type of marketing medium you're doing, which is your marketing channel. Say you're doing SMS, and then you put the date you did it and how many pieces you dropped. Okay. This will help you keep a scorecard to make sure you are adhering to a marketing schedule. Okay. And then, guys, what we're going to do is obviously you have 12 months in a year. This is going to allow you to evaluate them once a month, obviously. I will tell you, marketing schedules, it's not the easiest thing to evaluate it on a weekly basis. So you can evaluate people's activity level, which is really important, but you've got to give marketing some time. The main thing is you got to make sure you're doing it. So the marketing schedule, it's everything. Somebody in your office needs to be in charge of it. If it's you, your spouse, your brother, your sister, your partner, whoever it is, make somebody accountable for the marketing. Make sure the budget is being met and the schedule is being done. So I review the marketing budget and schedule to make sure we stay on plan. And then quarterly, we make just little tweak adjustments based on what our acquisitions people are saying. Well, customers are telling me this, or they're freaking out over that, and we make adjustments. Okay. So now that we have the budget, we picked the marketing channel, we've come up with a schedule. The next part is marketing rotation. And now, guys, this only really works if you have more than one marketing channel. So let me give you an example. If you're cold calling and then say you want to send these people direct mail, I use the McDonald's Burger King approach. So how many of you guys absolutely just love McDonald's? Like, listen, it's all crap food. Don't get me wrong. It tastes good, but there's nothing good in it for you. But I'm just talking about, but sometimes like McDonald's, if you're like me, I like the McDonald's fries, but a quarter pounder at Burger King, it's hard to beat. Now, guys, I don't eat this stuff much, but when I do, I wolf it down like there's like no tomorrow. But I like some things at Burger King, some things at McDonald's, and I always take this approach in marketing. That's how your customers feel. They might get really ticked off when you cold call them, but say 30 days later, you send them a piece of direct mail, they give you a call. So I like to do a rotation. The easiest way, in my opinion, is rotate it every 30 days. So if I have if I did cold calling, because I like to get it out, you get it fast and you get leads, then 30 days from there, I'm going to send that same cold calling list a direct mail. And then I can sit back in the long term and evaluate my marketing on a quarterly report and see which one is yielding me the highest results. And it will go back and forth all the time. It's absolutely crazy how marketing works. But you guys, you have to look at the data. The data never lies to you. It just tells you the truth. It's up to you to decipher the information and make sure you're picking the right story that your customers are telling you. So a marketing rotation. So if I'm doing cold calling and I'm doing direct mail, now I can set up a marketing rotation. So once again, I'm going to go through January through December, and I'm going to put every other month which one I'm doing. And remember, every time I add one to the rotation, it gets a little bit more complicated. So at some point, we're doing texting, cold calling, direct mail, and we get a counter rotation of 3 of them. And we're usually rotating everything 30 days and keep flip-flopping it. Why? Because, guys, I only need one deal out of my marketing batch. My average deal is probably close to 50 grand now. And I spend nowhere near that in marketing. Actually, you can outspend yourself in marketing and wholesaling. And what do I mean by that? Meaning, say you did a 15,000 mail piece and you're one person and you put them all out at once, your phone will ring off the hook. You're never going to get to all those customers on a timely basis, and you'll actually burn the leads because you didn't follow up with them fast enough. That's what we call outspending marketing. If you take the steps I'm teaching you today, you will never outstrip and outspend your marketing. So don't start too small if you can afford not to. And then the idea is to increase your marketing budget. We increase marketing budgets based on the number of deals we do and if we're having success. Now, forewarning. Say if I spend $5,000 a month on marketing and say I get a couple deals out of it, which is fantastic. Do not think you are smarter than the average wholesaler out there. So I used to take 5 grand and go, wow, I just did really well. Let's do 10 grand or let's do 15 grand and go, we'll at least double or triple our business. It doesn't work that way. I'm here to tell you, you have to scale it up correctly. So if I spent 5 and I got really good results, I'm going to look in that data and see which ones were working on the ones we got deals. And then I might increase it up to like 6,500 and see if I'm getting an exponential increase. Don't ever just double your marketing on a whim. It usually will backfire on you. Remember, marketing's not a pure science. Sometimes you get a good quarter in, and then you can have like a bad month or two. And if you just doubled your budget, you could have shot or shoot for the rest of the year on marketing. So you have to look at it like a CEO when you're looking at it and go, okay, that's great, guys. We just did a $30,000 deal. Here's the key. Keep doing your minimum marketing budget, and then you make a decision as a company if you want to increase it. Now, decreasing it is not the way you really want to go. It means you probably started way too high to begin with. So I'd rather you ramp it up and make sure you make a decision based on every quarter. Okay. One of the biggest things I see wholesalers really challenged with is they knee-jerk reaction. So if you guys go on the internet and you know exactly what I'm talking about, if you go on any wholesaling forum, Facebook, Instagram, oh, I heard direct mail is killing it, or I heard direct mail I did it once and it stunk. Guys, you do not want to be that person. Do not try something once and quit. Okay. The only thing I advise you to 100% stay away from if you're new in this business, and that means 6 months or less, is stay away from PPC. You can do Facebook ads, but I'm just telling you, the conversion rate on Facebook ads is painful, 12 to 18 months on average. So that's like realtor stuff, and I'm not a big fan of that. And everybody brags on Facebook leads like, oh, they're so cheap per lead. Who cares what the cost per lead is? What does it cost me to get a contract? Do not do Facebook leads based on cost per lead, because a lot of leads are just junk. They're garbage. So if I get 100 leads in, they go, well, I got it for $10 or $12 a lead. That means nothing to me. And I used to go nuts when I work with consultants on Facebook ads. I'm just not a Facebook ads type of guy. I know they work, but you have to be hyper focused and you have to pay attention, because Facebook always seems to change the rules on us. So guys, the next one is, this one's huge here. Okay. You guys got to have an SOP. So that's just an acronym for standard operating procedure. At some point, you are going to outsource your marketing. Now, if you do it just the way I showed you, you have a marketing budget, you have a schedule, you know what the rotation is. You have to write out how to implement it in your company. Okay. And then you have to spell it out, just like if somebody was going to build you a peanut butter jelly sandwich and write out the directions. If you ever sat down and you think it's like 5 or 6 steps doing a PBJ, it's like 54 steps. I did this in an exercise. It just goes to show you, the more detailed you are, the easier it is. You can train someone like a VA to do this stuff. And then your job is to review the marketing budget and the schedule and make sure the rotation's working, and listen to feedback from your employees or whoever you're working with. So you got to have a standard operating procedure. So I learned for the first 7 years, everything I did was up here in this head. And if you guys know what I mean, comment on it. Nobody knows what's going on up in your head. I know you guys think your spouse and your kids and everybody else knows. They actually don't. They would love to get in there and see how it works. This is basic. So standard operating procedures need to be written at a 6th grade level, because it has to be very easy for anybody to understand. So if you guys haven't done that, start documenting it now. It will save you a ton of time and will allow you to scale your wholesaling business as you grow over time. Don't wait 2 or 3 years to do this, because it feels overwhelming. Ask me how I know. Okay. And last but not least, I promise we're getting the questions here. KPIs. So KPIs is just a fancy acronym for key performance indicators. You then have to decide which KPIs you are going to grade your marketing on. Now, KPIs are endless. It's any type of measurable, anything you can measure. So you want to make sure it's consistent and you can't waffle the numbers on it. So I've seen people overanalyze KPIs. I believe you have to have at least 3 minimum KPIs to understand your marketing business. Number one is you need to understand what it costs to get a lead. Okay. The problem is defining what a lead is. So a lead, in my opinion, is anybody you engage and have a shot at. Okay. And you got to define what a lead is. Everybody in this business has a little bit different definition of it. But a lead to me is someone you have a shot at. You're not going to take down all leads. Okay. The next one is the number of appointments booked. So an appointment is going to be phone appointment, and then the next level appointments are going to be physical appointments. You have to track that. What marketing did it come off? When was it done? How many did we do? And then the next one is your contracts, number of contracts to take down. Contracts, the cost to get a contract is everything in this business. That's how I can tell if you understand marketing. You've got to know what each one of your contracts cost you. So, like an average in my business, I could break it down is I try to always stay below $2,000 per contract. 1,500, I know we're like doing something special. If it goes up to 3,000, I know we have a problem. You know why? I've been doing it 20 years. Now, in the old days, like $300 was really expensive. But as time's going by, more and more people are doing this. So I've had to adapt my numbers. I know what my numbers are. I promise you will know your numbers. Okay. Those are 3 simple KPIs. And the last thing, guys, if you have someone helping you with marketing or doing marketing for you, or like even doing acquisitions, just do a simple, what I call an activity sheet. Activity sheet's going to count the measurable actions they take on a daily basis to get to a contract. AKA, how many phone calls did you make? How many people did we actually visit? How many contracts did you send out? And you can quantify the activity. They have to keep the activity level high to have a shot at getting really good contracts. So if a salesperson or acquisition person or a marketing person comes to me, it's like, Rick, I'm really struggling. I don't know what I'm doing. Hey, let's talk about your activity sheet. You make a simple activity sheet. It's just like a calendar. You can do on an Excel spreadsheet. You can use a Google sheet and mark down how many calls, how many people they visit, how many contracts did you send, how many follow-ups did you do in the database, and you can make it. Don't make it like 19 different things because it's going to overwhelm. Come up with at least 3, if not 4, on an activity sheet. Activity sheet's just a bonus thing because when people complain to me and I go to the activity sheet and I see you only made 10 phone calls today, to me, because sometimes salespeople will dwell on the past of like deals that didn't go through, they had their heart set on. But what you have to do is get them to fight forward for the future. So, guys, that's kind of it. So this is recorded. You can go back through it. It's a simple recipe, but it works really well. And I love to talk about marketing because so many times we avoid just talking about the systems we need to do for marketing. And honestly, if you do not have a system set in place, you are guessing. And if you're guessing, you're going to be extremely inconsistent and it's going to drive you out of the business in the long run. So, guys, heed the advice. I'm telling you, systems work really, really well. So let me jump into questions here. Guys, do me a favor. If you're new to the channel, I need some likes here. I have an embarrassing low number of likes. So I know sometimes the information's not always the funnest. I always pride myself on trying to have as much fun as I can doing these live. So those of you who kind of got to know me, I believe wholesaling is the greatest way to free yourself from this crazy 9-to-5 world that everybody thinks we fit in. 65% of the people in the world hate their freaking job. And I was that person. I was 33 years old and said, listen, I can't take this anymore. And I believe Zach he was about 2 or 3 years old. And I made that decision. And here we are today. It's like a small world. Everybody thought it was crazy. Rick's lost his mind. Guys, listen, you can always go back to your old self anytime you want. why not make a change to see if you can really break the struggle in your family? And that's what I did. By the way, guys, I went to college, completely useless to me. Like it just, I went to college to get a sales job. So um, I'm not against college, but my advice to anybody taking college, get through it as fast as you humanly possibly can, because it's nothing more than grade school. Employers really don't even care about it anymore. So unless you have to do one of the arts, medical, law, engineering, something like that, there's no point. I don't know. I just wouldn't go to college for business. It just, it doesn't make sense. I didn't use any of it. So hopefully that rings true with everybody. So, okay, guys, let's get into the question. Latoya says she wants freedom. So, guys, it's simple as making a statement like that. So I made that statement 20 years ago, and my family thought I was nuts. My wife believed in me. I got to think Zach and my daughter believed in me, but they were tiny little babies. But guys, you want to talk about like being horrified? I had a mortgage. I didn't have a lot of money. I had a lot of debt. I had 2 young children. Like, tell me if you can relate to this, man. Scary stuff. So the fact that we have such a younger generation get into wholesaling now. I talked to someone yesterday, 16, that's taken the information me and Zach's get it and did his first deal. I mean, that's absolutely amazing. There is no limitations. The only limitation is you put on yourself. I don't care how old you are. It doesn't matter. I didn't come out of my slumber till I was like 33, only because I don't have the information you guys have now. So it doesn't matter when you start. So let's see. Okay. So you guys are all sharing which markets you guys are in. Boy, okay. I'm trying to get. See, you guys talk amongst yourself, or it works really well for me. So Eskimo says, so you guys can relate. Like 9 to 5, guys, it's a BS thing put on us by society. Listen, I did it. Like I did 7 to 7 though. I never did 9 to 5. I guess I was not the brightest guy in it. And I'm here to tell you guys, the people that do the best in the business world, this guy, I've been doing this 20 years. They're never the smartest people. I want to repeat that. They're never the smartest people. Smart is an ego play. And, there's a big debate. Are you born with smarts or you earn it? I think it's a little bit of both. I think some people have it a lot easier than others. I struggled with school. Like none of it made sense to me. I didn't understand why we had to sit behind a desk and learn. I questioned everything. And that's why it leads me to be here. But I knew I never belonged in like a 9 to 5 job. But I'm here to tell you, you guys have enough decision to make a decision what you want to do. I have people do 9 to 5 jobs and still do the wholesaling. Now, I worked my job almost a year before I left because I had obligations. And I'll preach to every one of you, if you have obligations, make sure you take care of your family first. And but 9 to 5, like, guys, you're working on other people's dreams. That's what you're doing. And I did it for a long, long time, and it just didn't work out for me, and I gave up. So, okay. So Jerry's got a good question. He says, when does it make sense to start delegating acquisitions? This is actually really simple. Jeremy, when you get so buried in deals that you're having a hard time getting back to people and you feel like you're losing money, that's when you bring on an acquisition person. I want you guys to understand, I've been through this whole game of like acquisitions. Everybody's like, oh, we hire all these acquisitions manager. I'm just here to tell you, it's a pain in the butt. Okay. You are literally outsourcing the most important part of your business, which is basically connecting and closing with people and solving their problems. So here's my suggestion. I've been through so many acquisitions, people. I would like to, our industry will never tell you the turnover rate on acquisition people is through the roof, because I believe we overpromise and we underdeliver on people. The problem with acquisitions, especially if you're just getting started out and you're getting a little bit busy, is you got to keep that busy person. You got to keep them busy, because if you put them in that job and they flip a property or two here and there, even if they're making good money on it, they will get bored. And when they get bored, that's when they get in trouble. Okay. And then you're going to go, oh, well, I only spend 5,000 a month. I'm going to spend 10,000 to keep Johnny busy in acquisitions. No. The other downside of an acquisitions person is they take 90 to 180 days to be proficient. Now, I don't know about you, but that's a long time during the year. So here's my recommendation. Most of you guys are your own best salespeople. Nobody fights harder for their company than you. Find VAs and other people that will help you do marketing schedules, budgets, any type of redundant task that you can write a standard operating procedure, and you go see the people unless you literally don't have time or your job does not allow you to do it. Because I promise you, if you can get 5, 10, 15 deals on your belt, then you can make better decisions on acquisitions people. So the best time to hire an acquisition person is when you're completely overwhelmed and you're losing money on deals. That's when you can step it up. But I'm just here to tell you guys, there's a lot, you have to spend a lot of energy training, a lot of follow-up. And I can't tell you how many acquisitions people come to me after they work like 6 months a year and they just want a boatload of more money. I've had them come to me and they want me to be my partner. And that's the challenge, like we deal with it. And then you might create your own competitor, although I never care about that. And that is the challenge. So I've noticed a huge trend across the country, if you guys are paying attention, is people will outsource everything they can and then they do the final acquisitions part. So you can have somebody answer the phone calls, set you up. But guys, let's face it, if we were going on 60 or 70 appointments, that's a whole different world. If you're only getting 5 or 6 appointments, I would lock them down until you get your coffers loaded, like your bank account starts to look like a phone number. Then you can bring in other people to help you. But remember, you're making an investment in people. It takes a lot of time and energy. And you've got to find out in 90 days if that person's the right cut. And I've tried it every which way. I've given them salaries. I give them bonus. I'm back to old school. You want to work for me? Go out and get a deal. I'm going to train you, but you got to stand on your own. And if you don't stand on your own, then you're not going to make it. And the sooner you come to that fruition, the better off. I've paid people 10 grand up front. I've given all sorts of things. It just, the best way is to make sure they're hungry and they want it up front. I don't want anyone to starve. If their activity levels through the roof, I'll take care of them. But remember, so many people think getting acquisition manager solves all your problems. Like, remember, they are in direct line with your customer, and then you're just a third party when you do that. So you better make sure you got the right person in that position. So Jeremy, if you get overwhelmed and you're losing money on the deal, then I would definitely bring in a person and go from there. So what's up, Justin? He's in his early 30s working a job and degree. Your story definitely resonates with me. Hey, Justin, I got a good story on the day I walked in and fired myself from my job. It was kind of funny. I tried to get fired for almost 4 months. But a great feeling. I just gave up, man. I gave that company everything I had. And I just watched them fire. You know what woke me up? They fired, I think, 6 of my bosses above me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to get in line with them. They didn't do anything wrong. So corporate America is all about, blame, greed. It's tough out there, guys. We're in a whole different world. Do you guys really think one company will take care of you for the rest of your life? I know there's a few out there, but for the most part, the minute they have an issue with you, you are gone and they will kick you to the door. I've watched company after company do this. I've watched friends, family. They're a business. They don't think on emotion. They just keep churning and burning. So why not just fight for yourself? That's how I see it. So, okay. What's up, Brendan? Supposed to. Okay, so this is kind of a long one. Let me put it up. We'll see if we can help. What's up, Maria? How you doing? It says, hey, Rick, do I add just the seller leads that I've spoken to Podio as opposed to every single property pulled from the list? I will tell you this right now. Make sure you only put properties in there that you're engaged in. Okay, so if you do the list thing, it's going to overwhelm your database, and honestly, it's a nightmare. So do not use your database to manage your your leads list. So you either call them a prospect list or a lead list. They only go in our database when we've engaged them. Once we've engaged them, they're either going to buy from us or they're going to die. That's just my, I know it's a Wolf of Wall Street thing, but honestly, that's how I look at it. I spend a lot of money on leads. Some I get for free, but I'm going to work them until something gives. Either the property has to get sold or the person has to pass away. And even then, I'm going to try to buy the property. So do I not even bother adding? So a dead lead is someone you've talked to and it's gone dead. They go, well, I'm 100% not selling, or, they call you something really nasty and say, take me off your list. So the dead leads you can archive and just take them off. So guys, if you had a list of 5,000, do not download it in your database. Go out and do your marketing. And when the leads come in, or if you're doing outbound call, you're doing cold calling or SMS, when somebody engages you and you have a shot, then put it in your database. The problem is if you keep putting in 5,000 and 10,000 leads in your list, you're going to wind up like with over 1 million people in your database. And honestly, if we're only targeting, 1 to 2% of these people, you're going to have mostly really bad data. So I've tried it every which way. For simplicity, only put people in there that are engaged in your database, Maria. Good question, though. Okay. What's up, Zach? How you doing? It says, if you have lots of sales experience and have never done wholesaling, willing to invest some money, what marketing plan do you recommend to get your first deal? So Zach, as I said, the marketing is you want to find a strategy that matches your personality like really well. So it sounds like you have sales experience and you like talking to people. Cold calling might be a really, really good fit for you. Or you can even consider direct mail. Direct mail is a little costly up front, but the positive side is you have inbound phone calls coming to you, which you can just answer with your cell phone, and you can answer them like they're really, really easy. And I love answering direct mail live because I have the ability to connect and talk to people. And if I got the right leads, the right people are going to call me. I just got to like talk them through it and figure out how to do it. If you want to learn more how to do it, we have a ton of ways to learn. I would just go to freewholesaling.com and then research all our marketing channels on there. In fact, find ones that resonates with you. There's so many options. It's almost like a custom car these days. But don't pick something you literally hate doing, and find the one that resonates with you. And then you can pick from different types of strategies and everything you want to do with that. So freewholesaling.com will point you in the right direction on that. So yeah, see what works best for you. And Cal, yeah. Everybody at the Flip with Rick channel. Let's go. So did you guys enjoy the State of the Union? I mean, we just laid out the way it is. Like, it's so freeing when you can sit there and just tell people the truth. It's actually shocking on the internet. Oh my God, why did they say it's the truth? Because I don't hide behind some sort of like coaching program and say, hey, listen, this is what I want to do. So what's up, one time see out there, the Eskimo? These guys are regulars. They just know how to use the channel correctly. Eskimo says, once you get the deals going, we'd love to go 100% fishing with you. It's funny. I actually went fishing early this morning, and you guys know I can't work this dang computer. It was to say it was good would have been an understatement. Let me see. Okay, so I'm going to show you last week, and then today was pretty dang good. Confirm if you guys can see this pitch. So that's my freedom. That's my why. I love going out in the outdoors, catching fish like this in Florida. I fish probably 2 days a week, and I love doing it because I can do it whenever I want it. And I'm always a phone call away if Zach needs me for something. But that was just around 40 pounds, and got him on a nice tiny little spinning rod. But I love this business, guys. So guys, you're not watching a fishing channel. This is Flip with Rick. But I'm telling you, wholesaling allows me to go out and just catch monster fish, have a blast. And that's dolphin, or some of you called Dorado or Mahi Mahi. But today, I got to be honest with you, it was spectacular out there today. So 2 sailfish, I think 8 dolphin, and 2 giant tuna. And I was done by 10 a.m. and I came back in and went back to work. So I get up early though. So I love it. So okay, I'm going to jump around here a little bit. That was a pretty fish. So I haven't even got all the pictures up today. It was absolutely, it was one of those dream days. It's like one of those days where you got like 5 leads and 5 contracts. I love stuff like that. So let me get back to, okay, there we are. So enough about fishing, guys. I swear I could talk about fishing all day. I love the fish. So guys, but I know everybody on this channel is like, you have stuff you love to do too. So why not use wholesaling to finance that, take care of your family, and have fun with it? Fishing to me is like therapy. I just like getting out there with Mother Earth and being in the salt water and the ocean and the breeze. And it's a lot of fun. But it kind of clears my head, and it's better than picking up other vices in life. So what's up, Sub 2 Deals? So Justin's got a good question here. Hey, what's the best way to stretch 250 to 300 a month for marketing? The best way is pure hustle muscle. Like, you got to go out and apply that to hustle. Go get your code violations, your tax delinquencies, do reverse marketing, where you find distressed properties and put notes on the doors, knock on the doors, and God forsakes, driving for dollars. I can't overstate this enough to you. A lot of people overlook it. Oh, it's beneath me. I'm telling you, if you forced me to get a deal in the next 10 days, said, Rick, if you don't get a deal in the next 10 days, life's going to get really bad for you. I would get my car and go driving for dollars. You know why? Because it's the fastest. Is it the funnest? No. Is it the most efficient? Not really, but it's 100% the fastest way to find distressed property, hands down. So that's where I would start with it. Let's see. Pure poison at McDonald's. I just use McDonald's, Burger King as an analogy. So, so Cryptid says, hey guys, what's the best leads to pull from PropStream? Guys, here's what I like. Let me see if I can pull it up here. My favorite ones to pull up is, I like the pre-probate, but I wouldn't do it every month. And then once a quarter or twice a year, I love the vacants. It works. Now the data comes from really the same provider, which is basically the U.S. HUD, which aggregates it from the U.S. Postal Service. But those lists work very well because actually PropStream is the only one that I know that does lists like that. So if you guys want to learn more about it, go to listrei.com. You get a 7-day free trial period. I swear I use these lists. They work very well. You guys know where I do business. I run Port St. Lucie. I've been doing this over 20 years in this area, and I do a lot of virtual marketing too. And those, if I had to pick quick lists for that, outside of that, you can do your usual high equity, absentee owner. That thing's just done to death. And that's where I would start with it. So let's see. So I'm not going to butcher your name because do you have an activity sheet? Here's what I'll do is I'll create an activity sheet and I will go ahead and put it in freewholesaling.com. I'm just giving you a couple of days because I have one offline and I got to figure out how to give it to Zach to put it on the online course. But guys, do not overthink an activity sheet. It has to be solely based around activity levels, because here's how I look at it. If I have somebody working for me that's either doing marketing or acquisitions, the best way to judge them, we only go, okay, how many deals do you have? Well, like it never starts with that. It's always based on how many phone calls they make, how many contracts they send out, how many people did you talk to, how many emails did you send, how many texts did you send, did you collect cash buyers today? And if the activity level is constant and they're going above and beyond like the minimum quotas you're setting for them, you're going to get deals from it. It's when they come up with excuses or Rick, this is really hard. The activity list will go straight to the data and just get rid of all like the BS, the dance, the lies, and you just try to cut to the truth. Like, oh, dude, you're just gonna have to call more people. So remember when I told you in the interview process, you got to talk to 200 people a day? You got to talk to 200 people a day. You've talked to 10. So you're complaining about not having it, but you're 190 calls short. I would get to work if I were you. And like, honestly, it clearly puts it back on their shoulders. So if that's what you agreed to up front, that's what you want to do. By the way, I did the activity level sheet for myself to keep myself accountable. So what I'll do is I'm going to make a note here and put that in the course. If that helps you guys out, just give me a few days to put it in there. But guys, you don't need me to do it. It's like, just don't overcomplicate it. Activity level, high activity level. Anything that interacts with a seller is an activity. You get enough activity, you will get contracts, and eventually you will get deals that profit into your bank account. So, Moist has asked, what do these KPI sheets and SOPs look like? KPI can be any, guys, once again, there's a reason I don't put all these sheets out there. I'm fine with the activity level sheet because I think that's the most important. KPIs is really just a way to evaluate and measure how your marketing's going. Okay. You have to have a verifiable, measurable, you have to have something that's quantitative. You can't guess at it. So how many contracts did we write today? Okay. That I can quantitate. How many phone calls did we make today? How many phone appointments do we have? How many physical appointments? How many contracts did we land? And how many contracts we closed? That's all KPIs are. Okay. I find that most wholesalers overanalyze KPIs to death, and you can actually drive employees nuts with it. So find your 3 to 4 most important KPIs and run with them. Because when you start getting into KPIs 9 and 10, people don't like, they just fall asleep. They're like, okay, because they're constantly chasing KPIs. The idea is to drive the right behavior, not just like, Rick, pick up this pen, pick up this pen, pick up this pen. Okay, I picked up the pen. Well, statistics show, Rick, if you pick up a pen, you'll actually write a contract. Give me a break. That's not a KPI stat. And like, I've seen them overdone to death. Keep it simple. Okay. For SOPs, guys, I'm just telling you, just get out a Word document and start writing and dumb it down. 6th grade or less level. Do not try to speak over people's head. Just really simple. If you're building a peanut butter jelly sandwich, what's the first step you start with? People laugh at me on this, but it's true. I guarantee you guys you have to think about the first step, even though you've done it a million times in your mind. And you got me thinking about, you got me thinking about PBJs. It's really good. What's the first step? I don't know. Do you get the plate out? Do you get the peanut butter out? Do you get the jelly? Do you get the knife? Do you get the spoon? And you got to come with an order. 56 steps making a PBJ. And that to me is the most simplest task in the world. That's how detailed you have to be on your standard operating procedure. So it's up to you to write it. The first one's always bad, and then you just keep modifying it and keep going it through. And then what you can do is you can give your SOP, you can give it to someone that's not familiar with your business, hopefully a family member or a friend, and have them go, listen, does this make sense to you? And if they look at you with like, are you crazy? When you hand it to a VA, they're going to do the same thing with you. I find most VAs are craving to be told what to do. We just don't know how to communicate to them. And I was actually one of the worst people in the world on this. So what's up, Madeline? How you doing? Okay, guys, we got like another hour. So let's go with questions. We got a lot of questions in here. And this is a time we can interact. This is my favorite way to connect with you guys because we get to share information and go from there. So Eskimo asks, would you use a realtor for boots on the ground? Yeah, just, I don't care if they're like a realtor, a welder, just Just make sure you have an agreement with the realtor and they're not going behind your back trying to talk people in the listings. But if they'll work with you, then great, because they're already experienced in the business. Keep in mind, they're only experienced in real estate. Most of them are clueless on wholesaling. So you have to kind of explain on what you want to do. And you want to make sure that they don't want to be an aspiring wholesaler. They just want to be a boots on the ground or a realtor to help you out, because you don't want to do it the other way. So long live Simba. Hey, Rick, I think SMS is saturated in Baltimore area and working a 9 to 4 as a loan officer for Rocket Mortgage. But I tell you, that's a hell of a marketing company. They really do well. So, so we talk about the word saturated. Here's the problem. If, like anything else in life, like saturation, I compare to traffic. So if you guys live in Atlanta, Baltimore, Miami, LA, think what the traffic was 10, 20 years ago. If you can go that far that back, fortunately I can. I got to tell you, man, my traffic in South Florida right now is so saturated. So what am I going to do? Stop driving a car? It just gets worse and worse each year. I just have to keep upping my game. The saturation's not going anywhere. Okay. So we all got to kind of get rid of it and make sure we never use it as an excuse. But you can pick other techniques. You can do cold calling. You can do direct mail. There's so many different things that you can do. So as my suggestion, as always, here's what I do. I would just go over to freewholesaling.com, look at the different marketing techniques you can do and see if one rings your bell, and maybe just kind of mix it up. Now, SMS is getting more complicated because they're passing stricter and stricter carrier requirements. And I got to tell you, 2 years ago, it was, I'm not going to say it was ever easy, but it was a lot easier than it is now. But we can say that about traffic. We can say that about fishing. We can say that almost about anything. It was, heck, it was easier to buy a house 2 years ago. It was much cheaper, right? So we can go on all day. Just don't find out what resonates with you. That's what I would do, is I would go over to freewholesaling.com and see which one can work better for you. So Brad, the one channel I never, ever, ever stop doing is direct mail. But keep in mind, I came up in an age where direct mail, that was kind of like our only niche. Like that's the only thing I was ever taught when I was beginning. But direct mail works well. Here's what I'm telling you guys with direct mail. It's a pain in the butt, like expense-wise up front. But I got to tell you, there's no work in sending the mail out. So you guys go over to freewholesaling.com. We show you exactly how to do everything. And if you guys want to step it up, I have a mailing mastery. It's 100% free. I show you how to make 100K every month with direct mail. I've made so much money with direct mail. Why would you ever stop it? Here's my challenge, guys. It used to cost me, I don't know, I used to spend $500 to $1,000 a month. I spend a lot more than that, but I used to only make $10,000, $12,000 a deal. Now I'm making $50,000 to $100,000 a deal. So it's about tripled on cost on me, but so did the profit. So I know when I spend money on direct mail, I make a fabulous return on it. I don't recommend you starting out with direct mail because I want you, there's faster ways to get deals, but direct mail is slow and low, but man, it pumps. And here's the one thing you got to understand. It is the one channel that's 100% legal. There's nothing illegal. If somebody says, hey, Rick, I'm going to call the FBI or I'm calling the cops because you're harassing me, you can't get arrested for sending mail. It's considered junk mail. Same one Domino sends out, that Bed Bath & Beyond with their 20% coupon every day. You're in the same group. So I like it because it's legal and scalable. Guys, I tell you, for 7 years, I ran my entire business just off of that model because I got inbound calls and I could do other things. The only difference I tell you right now is, Brad, if you're going to do it, make sure you answer your phone line. But mailing mastery, I go into all 20 years of every technique I've ever used and what I use today. And we use one mail house in particular. Go to freewholesaling.com. I share everything in there because I know the owner well, and they've been doing my business for a long time. And if I've ever had an issue, I call up and it's resolved instantly. And they don't treat you like a number, and they're investors themselves, so they know exactly what we're doing. So good question. But I do SMS, I do cold calling, we do driving for dollars. Like it's endless. So Samara says, it's okay to advertise that you are selling the contract. You just got to be consistent. So the one thing where wholesalers are really struggling on this is that you're right. In theory, we are selling the contract. But honestly, if you go on the internet right now, if I want to buy like a wholesale deal, 95% of them will have pictures of the houses. And that is what's going to get everybody in trouble in the long run, because you're practicing real estate without a license. I'm not getting into the legalities of this. I'm not a lawyer. Go seek a lawyer in your state. But Samara, you are correct. So it comes down to a point is if you're going to send pictures or a picture of the property, because God, if you're buying a contract, that's like having a contract for a new car, but not looking at the new car, right? You would never do that. They're not going to do the same thing in real estate. So make sure if you are marketing a property, if you're going to send pictures, send it offline and everything references the contract. Okay. This is in reference to the contract on the property located at, and then you can add some pics. Do not put them on Facebook. Do not do a huge broadcast. Here's a little secret, guys. If you go to Google Drive and you use Google Drive, and you send pictures as an attachment, if you go into the options on it, you can set it where that thread cannot be forwarded to anyone other than the email carrier sent it to, because the link won't work. That'll prevent your deals from being sent out to 4,000 people you didn't know about it. So as I said, vet your cash buyers. That's the best way to do it. Most of your cash buyers are just other wholesalers trying to cheat off your list. Why? Because I do it myself. 9 out of 10 wholesalers will not vet their cash buyers list. So they brag about 500 cash buyers. They only got about 15 real ones on there. The rest is all their competition, picking apart exactly how they market. I don't share any of my competitions, any of my stats with my competition, because I work too hard to do that. But Sam, you are right. Very good. And that's the right way to do wholesaling. I appreciate it. So, dude, Sean, don't start doing that, man. You're going to make me go fishing right now. So I just try to keep this channel like honest and real. And the really cool part is people ask me, goes, did you like groom your son this entire life? No, honestly, I didn't. It's one of those things, honestly, if you guys have children, you like know how brutal the world is. And sometimes we all think the business we in is like the hardest. So like if you're a mortgage broker or like an insurance agent, like you tell your kid, like, you don't want to do what I do. Although I love what I do, but this business can be brutal, and we all want to kind of protect and like coddle our kids. I kind of went the opposite when my kids got older. They had to earn everything. I never gave them a car. I made them buy their own cars. I made them join sports teams. I made them to learn to work with other people. And like the big catalyst with Zach, just so this is like a little parenting thing. I like to mix it all in because we spend 2 hours together. I spent just over 4 years with Zach wrestling, because first of all, I wrestled and I did football in high school, and I did it late in life. And by the time I figured out and really enjoyed it, it was over. So I thought I'd give Zach the experience. Listen, anytime you can physically challenge your children outside of doing a video game or something like that, or get them outdoors, guys, do it. And your kid will find things it doesn't have to be wrestling. It can be whatever, cross country, it can be track, softball, baseball, whatever it is, soccer. But when you see the kids work hard and practice and struggle and do stuff, like amazing things can happen. So me and Zach, we've always had like a really good bond. But when we did like the wrestling thing, that's when he got interested in what I did. Because when I go to tournaments with him, I go, listen, I got to stop by and get a contract signed, or I'm going to do this and that. And he was working at the grocery store at the time, and we just decided, he goes, Dad, how can I do that? So if you guys are parents and you have a kid and you're wondering, and you're doing this, give them a good book to read. I find a good storytelling will engage somebody, and keep it simple. Like, do not give them like the big giant, like real estate book. Give them a simple book. And I think I gave him Dolph DeRoos's Real Estate Riches, which is part of Kiyosaki series. It's a simple book. You can read it in a day. And We did that. I did 3 others, and then he just started pounding me with questions. And once your kids start asking questions, it means they're engaged. So I never made him do this business, and we really enjoy it together. And now, um, like we spend like sometimes we drive each other nuts. But you guys have families, you know how it works out. But we're very complimentary with each other. I have a lot of wisdom with it. He's much better on the tech stuff. He's much more savvy on some of the business stuff than I am, and we're just like a really good team in how we do it. So I appreciate your comment, Sean, and I just try to keep it authentic and real. So send us $1,000 on SMS. Yeah, that's reasonable. So some of the main thing is you have to be consistent with it. Do not be the guy who spends $1,000 and then quits. Okay, you've got to commit to marketing. It's scary, it's uncomfortable, but if you do not take this action, you're not serious about wholesaling. And I don't care what the number is, just be consistent. And you can always go up. I just don't want you to go down. Okay, you got to think about like 10xing. But remember, when marketing, if 1,000 worked and you think you're going to 10x at the 10,000, don't do that. I've done that. You are just going to take your money and throw it out the window. Scale it conscionably, meaning like responsibly. Oh man, you guys are going fast. So okay. Chico says, is Zillow FISBO reliable, which is for sale by owner? I mean, they're reliable, but they are a pain in the ass. It's a great place to start and practice on it. But most people want like really high retail. But if you do enough quantity, you can find a deal in there. I promise you. So I think we just talked about. Aaron says, what would be the best marketing channels for 2022? You know what it is, Aaron? The one that you pick, the one that you actually do and you'll commit to. So the problem is like me telling you the best one to do. And if I go, hey, Aaron, you got to do cold calling. You're like, I hate calling people. Well, if you hate it up front and you know it's going to be an uphill battle, let's just go to plan B now because I don't want you to fail at it. So go over to freewholesaling.com, check things out, and find out the one that is going to be the best bet for you. And really, Aaron, it's the one that you do and commit to and do a budget, do a schedule. That's the one that's going to work. So Latoya says I'm 47. Latoya, you're young. I got you by, well, not a long shot, but enough. But guys, age is just a number. Like just life's short, make it count. Eskimo says, the ancient people built roads without college, laugh out loud. And by the way, guys, all our tech schools, they're dying for people for 6-figure jobs. And here we are in colleges, people getting 4-year degrees with $150,000 of debt. And they have like a 50% unemployment rate because they don't know what they want to do. I can't even make this stuff up anymore. It's getting ridiculous. So, what's up, Fernando? MJJ, always here, and I appreciate it, man. This guy knows how to take advantage of a mastermind. Eskimo's on fire today. Man. Okay. So listen to Eskimo here. He says, Rick, I was halfway through college and said, F it. I couldn't take it anymore. I decided to focus on wholesaling. My family's not happy about that, though. Now, it's funny you mentioned that because Zach wound up getting his degree from University of Florida. And so here's how we justified his degree, okay? He already did 2 years in high school. So my wife groomed him like to get it done. And you guys don't know this. Most of your states, while you're in high school, your kids can get college credits and it's 100% free. Okay. So if you're an entrepreneur, take advantage of the stuff that's already given to you. Then he only had 2 years to go. Well, then I had him apply for every scholarship and he got so many scholarships. Now he got good grades, guys, and he did a lot of commitments, sports. He volunteered. He did a lot of stuff. He got a full ride to the University of Florida, and so his college was completely paid for. And honestly, he got it done in a year and a half. So if you can bang through it and get it done, sometimes you got to do like, I got kids too, but I look at college completely different now. Like once you go through the business world and understand how it works, as I said, unless you're going to do one of the disciplined fields, engineering, law, medical, um, any of the sciences, which are kind of required to go through college, or business, I don't know why you'd ever go to college. Like it makes, what is a business going to teach you? The global economy is moving so fast. Colleges, they're not even close to being near what they teach. Do you know at most colleges they teach a school of entrepreneurialism? Go talk to the professor and find out like you're an entrepreneur, but you're going to be a professor. It doesn't even make sense to me. So um okay, good question. Okay, I'm reading, guys. What's up, Michelle? How you doing? Same as my wife's name, so I give you an extra bump there. Although you got one L, my wife has two L's. Um, let's see what else. Guys, keep bringing the questions, man. You guys keep me busy. So Moses says direct mail for introverts and cold calling for extroverts. Yeah. But guys, like let me let you know like another big secret. I don't really share with like a whole lot of people. I've been doing this business 20 years. When I'm like done dealing with like sellers and buyers, and I love talking with like you guys. Honestly, I'm kind of a hermit when I kind of shut. Not that I'm different from the camera, but it's like I'm just one of those people just kind of quiet to myself. I like to think a lot, and I like to do activities that like stimulate my mind, like fishing, and I like anything with nature because I believe we're all part of it in some way. And this doc technology I love, but I have to decompress from it. So like when I get off the camera, it's like when people who know me, I talk a lot, but like if I go out to dinner or something like that, I'm just kind of quiet. Like and me and Zach are kind of the same way. We just like our downtime. So you guys know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you just have to unwind and just go to a separate side of the house and like read a good book, listen to an audio. I like to work out. Me and Zach, we work out 2 to 3 times a week together, and it's perfect because we stimulate our bodies and we stimulate our minds, and we work on like really cool business projects for flipping houses, and then the best content we can provide for you guys. So it's a lot of fun doing that. So Maria says, super helpful. Thank you so much. Wasn't adding everyone, but wanted to be sure I didn't add it all. Yeah, don't add them all, Maria. It's an absolute nightmare, and it's hard to clean up your system. Actually says, I love your State of the Union. Only I didn't like a certain national state of the union. Yeah, that was absolutely crazy, wasn't it? It's so funny how we're like so divided as a country. If you think either side has everything right, you're like kidding me. And if you guys like filter your friends based on the party affiliation with it, you're making a big mistake. It's all this stuff is designed to divide us. You've got to do your part and just stay away from it. If you find somebody agrees with everything you do, I guess just marry them and call it a day. But it doesn't work that way in life. Like a lot of stuff me and Zach we disagree on all the time. But that's what makes a great conversation. Imagine if everybody agreed with what you say. It'd just be boring. It's terrible. So I was talking to a good friend that's in this business the other day, and they have a fully paid course, very popular person. And we finally, he doesn't agree. He or she does not agree with what I do or Zach. But at the end of the day, we agree to disagree, and we're friends. And like that's how life works. Like, so what am I going to hate him or her because they sell a paid course and I don't? Like, I don't care. And I finally told them, said, listen, just because that I do it a different way doesn't make me your arch enemy. It just that's how it is. Listen, when the internet came out, when cell phones came out, when digital currency came out, everyone's like, oh my God, what is this? And what happens in the end? It always wins. So I'm highly confident the business model me and Zach are putting out there is what the market wants, based on what you guys say and everything like that. So they don't have a Walmart. So Maria says, my are beautiful. Fish so nice, they named it twice. So, um, guys, I love to go fishing. Kep says, love the fishing in your area. So it's the one thing that keeps me to Florida, guys. Close to the Caribbean. Fish is still good here. But guys, you want to talk about saturation? Fishing's got really saturated Florida. I don't fish on the weekends anymore because I just don't want to deal with all the idiots out there on the weekends. So my cat loves fish. That's funny. So Efron asks a really good question here. He says, what happens if the seller wants to back out and there's no way to talk him out of the decision? Well, Efron, sometimes stuff just happens in life. So sometimes there's not enough you can say to make it happen. So here's how I do it. If you go into the negotiations and really the appointment with the right mindset and you set up the upfront agreement, say, listen, at the end of this conversation, you'll have a decision to make. Either you're going to love me and you want to work with me, or you might not like me all and tell me to take a flying leap. The more time you spend doing that, the less crap you get like this. So the main thing is sometimes you can't sit there and make everybody close. So guys, understanding when somebody signs a contract, it's great. You still have to get them to the closing table. And so many times people just hang everything on the contract. If you got that contract and it was even iffy, you're going to have to fight. Okay? The best way to fight in a contract, if there's even the slightest bit of doubt or there's no doubt, is get the information to your title company and have your title company contact that seller immediately. Right there, if they do that within the first 4 hours of them getting a contract, you put your seller at ease because they go, oh my God, he got a title company. They're committed. Oh, he's for real. He's good. Now, imagine you write a contract. It got a little bit of shaking. You guys know what I'm talking about. And maybe you're a little bit new at it. And then they start talking to their friend, their neighbor. They call their sister. And they just go, I don't know, man. Like, how do you know he's legit? Or like, why he only left you $100 deposit? And you start creating all these doubts. Whereas if you just had the title company call and solidify, hey, just want to make sure there's information. You're selling the house. Yes. Once they say yes to the title company, they are more apt to stick into the contract. So most of your self-doubt happens in the first 24 hours after you write the contract. So if you guys know that, go all in the first 24 hours. Keep following up with them. Send them a welcome email. Let them know the title company is going to be reaching out to them. I'll reach out with you tonight just to make sure you get all your paperwork and you're happy with everything. You can't just write a contract and walk away for a week and then be surprised when people walk back. It's happened to me so many times. Now, Efron, the main thing is I focus on is why do they want to get out of the contract? What has changed? Number one, the only one I do not back out of is if somebody just offered them a higher price, that's not my problem. Because then they just used you and there's a penalty for using somebody and writing a contract. But every now and then they go, listen, so if I'm buying someone's house, they go, hey, I 100% want to sell it. And I go, well, Mr. Seller, where are you going to be relocating when you sell me the house? And they go, I don't know. I haven't looked yet. I already know I got issues. Okay. So you guys know in today's market, if Mr. Seller goes out, he signs a contract and goes out and looks and goes, oh my God, rent's $4,000 a month. My mortgage is only $700. I can't afford to sell my house. Odds are I'm not going to make him sell his house. I'm just going to like, hey, remember you're selling the house so you can be closer to your mom to help take care of her. If that's important, I hang it on it. But honestly, if they get sticker shock, I just wish them the best and move on. Unfortunately, it does happen because what's your alternative? What, are you going to like sue them for performance? Go and sit in front of a judge? You're going to get killed. A judge is never going to kick a homeowner out based on a something like that. It's going to be really expensive and painful. So always get to the root of why they're backing out. So understand sellers are really bad liars. If there is another contract offered, that's where I draw the line. So, sorry, we've already signed an agreement. He's going to, well, I signed the other one. Well, Mr. Seller, that's fraudulent and you can't enter into two contracts. You're liable. So what's most important in the court system is who entered into the contract first. So I know I met you first and did this, and then you shopped me on top of it. I would go meet with the other person, unwind it as fast as you can. I don't want you to get sued in this, and just kind of leave it like that. Sometimes you just got to walk away. People are like crazy. You can't make people close. So school me, driving for dollars, got my first deal. So guys, remember I was talking about driving for dollars? It's so simple, but it's so often overlooked. Whenever we used to struggle, like we had a light week, I would send everybody in my office to go out in the car and just go collect leads. And we'd always come up with 400 or 500 leads. And I always walked away with a deal from it. So if you're struggling, just have fun with it, guys. So many people, like, they're so serious in wholesaling, and you got to go out and you got to have fun with it. And although it's not the funnest, but like you can listen to music, you can have, I don't think you're allowed to have headphones in it, but like you can listen to your jams, listen to a podcast, put on some Tony Robbins, man. I tell you what, Tony Robbins, in my opinion, is the greatest communicator on the planet Earth. End of story. The guy has an amazing ability to just cut through people's crap and get solutions and get to the truth. And wholesaling is no different. The sooner you can get to the truth, the sooner you can get a deal. Driving for dollars gives you the straightest path to it. Is it fun? Is it sexy? No, but it works. So awesome. I'm happy for you. That's how it should work. So we're talking about driving for dollars. And Michelle says, what's the criteria should when driving for dollars? I'm picking up vacants, but most are being renovated. Am I missing a certain criteria? Listen, you guys know your communities better than anybody. So I'll give you a reference for Florida and you can decide what works in your neighborhood. We look for high grass, knocked down mailboxes, blue tarped roofs, tons of mail piled up at the front door, or what's the other one? Just really poorly maintained houses. And then my favorite one is when you see a pile of furniture to the curb, that shows you a midnight move out on a rental property. And just stuff like that is really that simple. Just collect them, skip trace them, reverse driving for dollars, however you want to do it. It works really well. So, and if your criteria is not working, adjust it. Like meaning, so if you got 500 leads and you can't get a hold of one person, or, are you looking at the right stuff? So, you don't want to look at stuff that's already being renovated because you've missed the deal on it. So you got to catch it when you can. So, okay. What's up, Efron? So he says, Rick, I'm new to your channel. Welcome to the channel. So I'm Dad, aka Rick. My son is Zach. So he's a 22-year-old wholesaler. He's been doing it since he's 17, since he's been in high school. I'm a realtor in Arizona. I'm new to wholesaling. What tools do you need used for comping? Well, first of all, go to freewholesaling.com. That's the first one I would do. And then one of the easiest comp tools we have is listrei.com. But remember, you don't need all this to get started. It just makes it easier. The main thing with listrei.com is you get 10,000 leads a month with it, which is amazing. It's super cheap. But to be honest with you, Efron, if you have access to MLS, you can just use that to figure out what comps are. But go to freewholesaling.com, dive in. It's 100% free. It's the absolute best course. It is the most viewed course online, and it's 100% the most transparent wholesaling course. So I put 20 years of my experience and then Zach's 5 years of his techno whiz in there, and we have a lot of fun with it. So, but if you have used to the MLS data, you can use that, or public record too. Okay. Okay. So Nick, what's up, Nick? So Nick's in 14 markets. Nick's got a lot going on, and more power to you guys. I've done a ton of markets. At one point, I had 12 rep agents working for me, and I've pushed all my chips in. It's a lot of work. So I know what you're going through. The cost of running this business is high. So $8,400 a month, looking to outsource, but not sure about direction. So Nick, what you got to tell me is, what are you specifically looking to outsource? Like, you got to get down to the specifics. So if you didn't get a chance, go back to the first 30 minutes and I walk through a detailed marketing system. You got to like that. I think that's custom made for exactly what you're doing. Because once you hit that $10,000 threshold monthly, you really got to have your systems dialed in. Otherwise, you're going to outspend yourself and you're going to waste money. So go back to the first half hour. And then if you want to put on there what you're looking specifically to outsource, I will try to answer it before the end of the show, Lo. But dude, I'm glad you must be having success if you're doing 14 markets. So any insights you can share with it, we'd love to hear it. I don't even do 14 markets. My head was swivel on that. My least favorite list, I'm going to tell you right up. There's a list out there for sale called an inheritance list. Run from it. They're just old probates, and they're probably the most sought after list, and they all get bidded up. My old school go-to list back when it was a lot easier, we just did absentee owners. I could care less if they're absentee owners or not now. Now, if I was going to do a specific virtual marketing campaign, then maybe absentee owners. Guys, all absentee owners does is identify that the people don't live there full time. They're typically going to wind up being rental properties. So, so Cruz asks, also, what do you offer the seller refuses to say the price? So I did a live, I've done this 3 or 4 times. I did one like a week ago, but I teach you guys what we call the volley technique. So since we're asking questions, I'm here to help you, Cruz. So, so we always want the seller to say the price first, but guys, there are times they like, no, I'm not saying it. I know you're playing poker. I'm not going to say it. Tell me what your number is. So simply, all you have to do is overcome an objection 2 times, and you'll typically elicit a response. Let me give you an example. Mr. Seller, do you have an idea what you need to get out of the house to make this gone? And just shut up. And they go, well, Rick, I really don't know. If you could just tell me what your offer is, maybe we could figure this out. I get it, Mr. Seller. You can't know everything, and I understand that. But what if you just had to ballpark it? Can you just give me an idea what it would work for? What you need to get? Once again, Rick, listen, I don't even know. I don't even know what it's worth. Mr. Seller, I know you don't know exactly what it's worth. Just give me an idea. Help me out here. What's a bottom line number you need? By the 3rd time, they always roll over. It's just my experience, because most of us don't put up a fight past a first or second objection. So the idea is giving him permission and then restating the question to him and ask basically the exact same response. It drives people nuts. By the way, I tried this on my wife. It worked really well for about 7 days, and then it actually backfired on me. So if you guys are thinking about using it on your spouse, so here's an example you'd use on your spouse. Hey, honey, where do you want to go to eat tonight? You're asking me where I want to go to eat tonight? I tell you what, tell me where you want to go eat tonight. No, you just tell me. Listen, I know you don't know where you want to eat, but if you did know, what would it be? And it's so funny, guys. I'm telling you, if you could overcome an objection twice, 95% of the public will roll over for you. And I found this out the hard way in another business. That's why I'm such a good wholesaler. Remember, it's not about being a slick sales presentation. It's just about being consistent. So take that tip. That tip alone is worth this mastermind alone. I used to charge a lot of money for that tip, and now I give it away for free, because I already told you there's no secrets in wholesaling. Anyone who tells you there's a secret, they're trying to get in your back pocket. So there's somebody, have you guys ever heard of the guy does zero marketing technique? You guys ever heard of that? Dude, I've been doing that since 2005. He's claiming it's like his special marketing technique. And I believe he is on TikTok. I just find it funny. Everybody wants to take ownership for all this stuff. Dude, this stuff's been out since like the 50s. Okay. There is nothing new in wholesaling. It's just much more mainstream now. So I love when people take credit for it. By the way, I'm going to show you exactly how to do zero marketing method coming up here. So if you guys on like a really, really tight budget, you'll enjoy it, because I'm not going to say I'm the OG of this, but like I tell you, I was doing like somebody just said they just came up with it last year. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Um, it's so funny. Brad says, how do you vet a cash buyer? You actually get their information and you call them on the phone. And if you go to freewholesaling.com, we teach you how to vet them. But number one, proof of funds. Do you have any money? And prove it. If they waste your time and tell you, how dare you ask me, it means they're broke. They don't have any money. Ask me how I know this. I've been through hundreds and hundreds of thousands of cash buyers. And the number one complaint I get from everyone, how dare you ask me for a proof of funds? I don't know about you guys. If I want to buy a property for cash, you got a really good deal, and you say the only catch is you got to show me a proof of funds, I will, no problem. Like that's what big boys do. Big boys and girls, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. So, um, so the thing is, call them and make sure they're not other wholesalers, and just find some basic information out. The phone call should be never more than 5 minutes. But go to freewholesaling.com. I teach how to do it. The problem is you don't vet your cash buyers, you wind up with problems. So the easiest thing to do is people like to send like an SMS message on a deal they have to like 500 or 1,000 prospective buyers. Pictures, links. Honestly, you're transacting on real estate without a license because you're just trying to sell a piece of property. So you got to sell the contract. And by vetting your buyers, you can make sure you got the right people on the other end. And remember, you only need one buyer. People who brag about giant cash buyer lists, it doesn't work that way. You know, your cash buyer list every 90 days, the whole thing turns over. And Brad, the ideal avatar for a cash buyer is someone who's looking to buy it for like a family member who's tried to work with realtors on MLS and has failed and likes to do handyman job and has cash. That person will pay top dollar every time. And those are my favorite ones to a wholesale. So thank you, Samra. I appreciate it. Eskimos, parenting device. It's true. Boulay says, hey, Rick, I found a property was not successful in skip tracing, so I want to write them a note. Leave it the property. Can you give me a quick summary of what the note should say? Dude, just speak from the heart. You guys, there is no like, hey, I wanted to talk to you about the property. My name's John. Please give me a call and put your cell number on it, or like whatever phone number you want on it. Or sometimes you want to go, listen, I got a quick question for you. It's urgent, and leave your phone number, name on there. Now you're going to get an urgent phone call back, and then you're going to have to talk them off the ledge because they're going to be pissed. But I like doing that last approach because, shoot, you would call if you had that note on your door. So that's my what should I call it? My sharpshooting response on that. So okay. So Shek asks, what percentage of a deal profit do you reinvest back in your first marketing channel? So if I did my first deal, I'm probably going to take 50% of it, like minimum, because the idea is to grow it. So the idea is you should only have to, if you do wholesaling right, you should only have to pay for marketing once. Meaning once you get your first deal, you pay back that money and then you reinvest money in the future marketing. And each deal going forward should pay for your marketing. And then you can wind it down once you build up your cash reserve. So in theory, guys, you kind of pay for it once and it's a loan to yourself. When you get your first deal, you pay it back and then take half that deal and put it towards that. So Ramon's making cold calls right now while he's watching this. Well, I guess that's how you kill two birds at one stone. So, let's see here. What's up, Jose? Thanks for sharing. For a free question, how do you feel about wraps in Texas? I know Texas is a little bit, I know you guys got some specific legislation about wraps. So I love to do wraps in general, but I don't want to get myself in legal trouble here. So I don't do a lot of deals in Texas. I've done deals over in Houston. I've never done a wrap in Houston. But if you want to expand, I know there's some specific legalities of what you can and cannot do on wraps. So I know it's a specific Texas thing, so I can't probably help you there. So I don't have an opinion on it. So, Marco, what's going on? Can I get help to complete my first deal? I'm doing my research and I'm on your website, ready to change my family's lives. Yes. So, Marco, as I said here, the easiest way, and I assume you're already there, but I'll make it easier for you. Go to freewholesaling.com. Everything's going to be there for you. It's a lot of material. It's not just like a fly-by-night course. And just dig into it. And I share all my secrets in there. Remember, there is no secrets, guys. The secret is you got to put in hard work and actually put in the time to make this business work. So, let's see. So, Marco, I want you to understand this. Wholesaling is a very basic starter entry into real estate investing. It's actually the most common way people start. And it's a very direct niche. It focuses mostly on marketing. Okay. So many people try to figure out everything in real estate investing and they'll go get a mentor and they think they're going to get all these secrets. And I'm here to tell you, dude, I've been doing this 20 years. Wholesaling's not that challenging. You just got to put the work into it and put the time into it. One-on-one, you can do it, but I'm telling you, the cost of doing like a one-on-one for it, it's going to be steep. So if you can afford to do it and you want to do that, but if you were going to pay, say, 5 or 10 grand on like a mentor, you'd be better off just using free wholesaling, my free wholesaling course at freewholesaling.com and taking that 5 or 10 grand and use it towards your marketing budget. The number one complaint when students hire gurus is they don't have any more money left for marketing. So let me ask you this. If you give a guru 5 grand and then you tell them you got no more money and they tell you it's going to be an uphill battle, that just doesn't make sense to me, guys. So if I'm free, take that investment of what you think me and Zach's worth and put it towards your marketing. Okay. The one-on-one, you're probably not going to get. Most of the they call it group coaching for a reason. There's hundreds, if not hundreds and hundreds of others on a Zoom call with you. You're only going to get so much one-on-one time. It's typically going to get email and it's like some text messages. So whatever you want to do, figure out what works best for you. I'm just trying to save. There's a lot of people that will get deep in your pocket on this. And I would just be very careful. You can't just mentor for 1 or 2 days. That doesn't make sense. So by the way, we do 8 hours a week of live right here on this channel, The Flip with Rick. You go to our Facebook group, the most active group in wholesaling right now. And let me pull the link up for you. Wholesaling Houses for Real. If you register there and you're on there, Zach twice a week goes on and does live one-on-ones. We're the only ones that do live one-on-ones and we don't charge a dime for it. So make sure you're registered on the Facebook Wholesaling Houses for Real and make sure you are subscribed to Flip with Rick. And that will qualify you to do the lives one-on-one. So, dude, Marco, I just solved all your problems in that one shot. So, hopefully that helps you out. So, I appreciate you working through it. Where to check? So, Fernando says somebody in this Facebook group worked part-time as a waiter, and he got his first deal by giving his customers a business card when they order the check. I thought that was quite creative and smart. So here's a little tip for you guys. Bartenders, waiters, waitresses, they talk to a lot of people. Some of my best bird dogs, which is someone who just gives you a lead and usually compensate them with like a marketing budget or like, you take care of them, is I've gotten a ton of deals from bartenders. Like, why? People go in a bar and they tell them about all their problems. They tell them about the divorces or somebody cheating on them, or I can't make my mortgage payment. Because let's face it, they're at the bar to kind of hide a problem. So guys, connect with them and you can really help out bartenders because, man, if they give you a deal, like think about what it's worth. Just understand you cannot pay them on the HUD. You have to pay them out of your company as a marketing expense. Okay. But perfectly legal to do it that way. So take care of your bartenders and your waitresses. Brutal job. And they're really underappreciated. And by God, if they hear so many conversations. Okay, so one-time patriot. So it says current owner of a property, according to PropStream, claims property was parents, but now is bank owned. County records show houses still in the deceased name with back taxes. Can family sell it? Um, to get the correct answer, work with your title company, which is usually associated with a realtor, and they'll probably tell you the answer for free. You're getting in the nitty gritty of it. You can do the research from it, but just save time. Find someone more qualified than you. They answer the question quickly. My recommendation is go to your title company and they will give you a simple yes or no answer. Once you have a yes or no, you'll know exactly how to move forward. Guys, when you're not sure, you can't be the expert in everything in real estate. Don't be. You need to be expert on marketing and connecting with motivated sellers. But when it comes to questions like this, and it's like, okay, PropStream says this, but the family says this. Dude, I just called my title company to send an email. I go, listen, I got this property. Can you take a look at it? Do they have the legal authority to sell it? And if they do, what steps do we need to take to get this deal under contract? Do that as fast as possible, and then let me know how that works out for you. So, all right, Marco, just go to freewholesaling.com. I'm telling you, that's where everybody starts that has a lot of success here. You can talk to everybody you want in the chat, but you're going to have to put the time in. There's like a lot of content in there. And if you would just go through that and just keep showing back up to these streams, and then you can interact with the one-on-ones we do in the middle of the week. And then with me on Friday, this is more than enough you need. It's up to you. Find out what's going to work the best for you. Um, Okay. So I got a Facebook user says, in Florida, should the title company provide the purchase and assignment contracts, or better have a lawyer draw them up? You should always use your own contracts. It's the equivalent of like playing on your home field in football or going to the visitors field. Which do you prefer? Always home field. Go to freewholesaling.com. We show you exactly how to download our contracts and to fill them out. You can always have your title company and a lawyer review it. I always recommend that to you, but it's not their job to do that for you. And typically you're going to get one that's designed for a realtor when you do that. So just be aware of it when it happens. So, hey, boss, back at you, boss. So E says, when just starting, what logistic things should we be thinking about getting it all lined up along the way so when we find the deal, it will be ready to go? So number one, go through and learn your basics on how to market for motivated sellers. So freewholesaling.com is really going to be your best tool because everything's in there in one shot. Without me going over 500 details, I would always point you in that direction. And you can't worry about everything always following in order. I'm telling you guys, if you learn how to master marketing and connect with motivated sellers, the other stuff will fall in line for you. So many people want to wait years and get everything perfectly aligned. Guys, this isn't college. You don't have 4 years to take this down. Okay, most of you want to take it down now, and I'm all for it. But you're going to have a little bit of patience. But so many people, well, I'll go out and find cash buyers. Right now, you're wasting your time with cash buyers. You get a really good motivated seller, I guarantee you can sell that deal. I guarantee it. It's not even that hard. It won't be like this forever, but you need to concentrate your effort on locating and conversing with motivated sellers because everything else nobody cares about your logo. Nobody cares what your corporate structure is. Nobody cares how you're keeping the books. Nobody cares what your cash buyers looks list. Until you have that, you don't have a lot in wholesaling. And honestly, everybody who wants to do everything and learn it, I've watched people in this business try to figure it out for 4 years. I've watched people figure it out in 30 days. What's the difference? One just dove in and took a ton of action and consistently pushed through even in uncomfortable times. The other one sat back. I'm going to wait till everything's perfect. Guys, if that has not worked up to you to this point, open your eyes and make a change. Do not sit around and let other people, other companies take care of you. It's up to you to take charge and run with this and have fun with it. Okay. But if you're sitting in this channel, you probably just decided, like, I can't sit around and wait for other people to take care of me and my family. I got to make a radical change in my life. And if you want to do that through the wholesaling journey, me and Zach would love to just guide you through the process. We have a lot of fun with what we do, and there's no reason you can't do it either. So, logistics, it's a little crazy when you start. I'm going to be honest with you. It's never going to be perfect. The main thing is you contact motivated sellers. Once you start doing that, your experience will up and go from there. And the rest of the stuff, it will come over time. I promise you. So thank you, Michelle. Oh, I love these questions. I got to do this one. Okay. What's up, Glennon? What would you do if you had to start over with absolutely no money for marketing? You have to wholesale virtually and you're down to your last month of PropStream. Ooh, you gave me a gift with the PropStream because I was going to tell you how to do it without PropStream, but you threw in the virtual, so I need the help. Okay, what would you do if you had to start over, no money for marketing? So I get 10,000 leads with PropStream. I'm down to my last month because it's going to expire because I'm broke. What I'm going to do is take a little bit of money and try to script trace that list, or if I had to manually do it and stay up for 3 days in a row, and I'm going to cold call like crazy because it's the most, like, I can't, so if I'm virtual, I can't drive to 10,000 people's houses. So I'm going to come up with a plan to attack all 10,000 of those leads and go in hard as I possibly can. The painful part's going to be the script tracing because if I don't have the money to do that, and I would get that first deal and then I'd start rebuilding my marketing budget. And I would take half of it, put it towards my marketing, and just keep building it and get it going. So you cannot run out of money, because if you run out of money, you can't market anymore. And that's the challenge with it. So, and by the way, I've done that, Glennon. Like, I've run out of money. Like, I've made some stupid choices early in my career doing this. And the minute I went back and stuck to my marketing schedule, my marketing budget, my rotation, my KPIs, my SOP, everything wound up in place. And that's what I'm here to preach to you guys. So, okay. So I got a Facebook user here. I get this like every week. It says, I have a property on contract. I can't find a buyer. How do I end the contract? Does it void out after amount of time? No, you have the responsibility to end the contract. Hopefully you have an inspection period. So guys, if you have a 10-day inspection period, please do not wait till day 9 or 10 to try to get out of the contract. Odds are either you have an odd property or you just paid too much for the property. So try to get out. You need to get out of the contract during your inspection period. And in worst case scenario, you can try to renegotiate with the seller. That's what I would do. So Tommy says, Rick, is your absentee is the best cold calling virtual list? Depends. Certain markets, like, I'll give you an example. I don't want to like point you in everywhere I go, but well, I don't do that specific market. Like Tennessee has a ton of rental properties. I'm not going to give the exact cities because I know them well. I like absentee owners in places like that because then I can just find all the properties that are most likely going to be targeted by a landlord and they have high turnover. And those are the ones I like doing on absentee owners. It's not very effective in Florida though, so I don't use it in Florida anymore, but I definitely use it on certain states in virtual markets. It depends on the state. It's very state specific for me. So, so Martin says, how many calls should I be doing part-time? I don't know. How many can you squeeze in part-time? So guys, it's never a question of like, okay, 500 is the number of that. Do as many as you can tolerate until you get a deal. That's it. I've seen some people make 30,000 calls to get a deal. I've seen people get it in like 100. Makes no sense. Is it fair? Absolutely not. But guys, if you're on this channel, you understand life's anything but fair. So you have to go out and attack stuff. So you got to have the right mindset. So when people say, hey, Rick, How many calls do I have to make to get a deal? Wrong question. How many calls are you willing to make to get a deal? Okay. If I ever work with you guys one-on-one, when I do these calls like once a week with Zach, that's what I ask. What are you willing to do? Don't ask me what's it going to take. What are you willing to do? Because that's the difference in this business. So yes, Eskimo, that's it. So Caesar says, do you ever vet cash buyers when you have a deal or before you have a deal while you are building your cash buyers? It's actually both. So I never have a giant cash buyers list because the list rotates every 90 days. And so the guy 6 months ago probably already bought a few deals and they're off the radar. So we simply have like a landing page we collect cash buyers on, and we collect it weekly. And then somebody in our company calls each one of them. It just saves us a ton of time down the road. It keeps Big Brother from like overlooking if you're one of those states where you're only allowed to sell a contract. So you don't you don't have problems from the state. It keeps other wholesalers out of your business. And guys, the last thing I want to do is like blast stuff out to like illegitimate buyers. So the number one complaint you'll get from all cash buyers, they get pissed off when you ask for a proof of funds. Think about that for a moment. Okay. You want to buy a property for cash, but you don't want to prove that you could pay for it. Why would I ever mess with you? You're already telling me up front you're difficult. And number two, you probably don't have the cash. What people say is cash anymore is not really cash anymore. You guys realize a hard money loan is not a cash deal. It is a loan. They have to qualify for the loan. The property has to qualify. And the underwriter, which is the guy or gal giving the money or the company, you are dependent on them sending docs and approving it. And by the way, they can pull it away up to the last minute. They do it all the time. So cash is cash. I want to deal with cash. I never want a first-time buyer of an investment property doing their first hard money loan with me because they're going to have a very difficult time getting it. So if they've done a bunch of deals with me, then fine. I'm not a big fan of hard money because there's a reason they call it hard. So Ed, this question, a virtual wholesaling, you use a realtor to walk the cash buyer through the property. You have to have a preset compensation agreement up front. So regardless if it's a realtor or not, the easy part of the realtor is you can pay them off of a commission of the deal if you want to do it that way. That works well. Just make sure you have a preset deal up front because a lot of them are going to assume they're going to get paid 3 to 6%. And you're going to have a problem. So see what they're willing to do and see like if it's worth it. But like, are they a really good closer? So most people walking a cash buyer through the property, they're literally just walking them through, showing the property and getting them out and say, listen, call Ed if you have any questions on the property. Is there anything else you want to see on it? And that's it. You don't want them talking to the seller and the buyer. They're just kind of there. But you run all sorts of risks. They could take them to other properties. They could like pin it against you. So just make sure you have a preset agreement up front. Look at Winston here. Winston closed 12K deal this week. Thanks you for your content. So Winston's a person that is obviously marketing, taking consistent action. And I guarantee this just didn't happen overnight. So nobody sees the struggle people go behind. Nobody sat around and saw my first 4 months of wholesaling. God, I wish I could have documented it. I felt like I was on Mars. I really did. So if you guys know that feeling, let me know in the comments because this stuff happens. I'm just telling you, it just feels so awkward. And I'm telling you that awkward goes away. And the really cool thing is the awkwardness is replaced with time with your family, financial abundance, and your ability to give back to your community and help all those people you said one day you would help out. That's what wholesaling does for you. So if it rings a bell, keep on pounding. Winston, awesome job. I congratulate you. We are going to have a show coming up sometime, hopefully before this end of the month, where we're going to bring everybody on to kind of share their deals and say what they get out of this channel. And I would love you to be a part of it. So awesome job. That's great. Okay. We are kind of, let's see here. You need, so Jennifer says, do you need to have an established LLC before wholesaling? If not, what do you do to put on the contract? Do you have to? Absolutely not. Is it a good idea? Absolutely yes. Here's a little secret, guys. You can go out and write a contract, put it in your personal name, as long as the contract's assignable, and you can open up the LLC the day before, maybe not the day before, maybe the week before the closing, and then you can assign that property to your LLC and receive the funds of that. Remember, an LLC is just it's a separate entity other than you. So if you got personally sued, it would protect you from that. But I'm here to tell you, at the end of the day, an LLC is going to wash through your personal tax return. So it's technically the same other than the liability part of it. I'm not a lawyer. Don't keep me up on this stuff. I own a lot of LLCs. I own a lot of corporations. You don't need all this stuff to transact on properties. But to be honest with you, it's about $150 to set one up. It's not that big of a deal. So if you're going to write a lot of contracts, please definitely do. It's a must. So some good comments on here. Now, I've seen this name before. Hey, just closed another one on Wednesday off of free content. Thank you, guy. Assignment fee, $8,500. So, guys, you already know it works. So this argument where oh, if you don't have skin in the game, this isn't going to, it doesn't matter. I'm giving you 25 years experience in the business. You show me anyone else that's going to give these types of numbers and give you a free wholesaling course. It doesn't exist. Okay. Why am I doing this? This is how I create a legacy. This is how I differentiate me from everybody else out there in the market. Why is there's probably hundreds, if not thousands of people selling a wholesaling course. You know why? Because that's what they were told to do. That's what they did 20 years ago. And that's what they're doing today. I don't knock them for doing it. I'm just going to zig when everybody else zags. Information is too easy to get a hold of today. So why not reward the person that's going to provide the most value and free content out there? It's up to you guys if you want to run with it. I'm telling you right now, you pay me 10 grand and you do this for free, you're getting the same content level. Okay. And by the way, most of the people teaching wholesaling out there, they never started before 2013, 14. They've never been tested in the waters. They have no idea the challenges that a different type of market can face. I can easily guide anyone through it because I have been through it. I have been through the war on properties when they flipped upside down. So we've been in smooth sailings ever since 2012. That's why everyone's kind of gotten in this game since 2013, 14. Everyone's a rock star. They know everything. They'll teach it to you. I'm just telling you guys, I've been doing this 20 years. I've watched so many gurus come in and out of this business. It's unbelievable. I give credit for the ones that have at least stuck around and made a commitment to the business. But I promise you, when the market shifts, probably next year, maybe the end of this year, you're going to see a whole bunch of gurus wash out. Because once they can't flip students, what are they going to do? Because they stopped flipping properties years ago. You're going to see a massive change. So awesome. Awesome. I'm just going to call you R1 for now. I've seen you on here before. So I have a Facebook who says, have you ever paid for pay-per-click marketing? Yes. If so, what's your opinion? It's really, really expensive. And people will tell you, I'm going to help you. Don't worry about it. I'm going to help you. And here's what they'll say. Just give me another 3 months. Give me another 6 months. And in my opinion, pay-per-click, unless you're willing to spend 30, 40 grand a month, it's tough. Now, I know people that do it completely in their business. They spend between 50 and 100,000 a month and have huge staffs. So it hasn't worked for me, but honestly, I'm not a pay-per-click guy. The ROI for the markets I do, it just doesn't work. So the average, when somebody clicks on your PPC for a Florida lead, it's $300 to $500. So imagine if you get 50 clicks, what's going to happen to your Google account? It's going to get expensive. So I know people can get 3 to 5 deals a month. So the problem is if you get 5 deals and say you earn 10 grand a deal, that's 50 grand. But if you paid 30 to 40 grand to get it, that's a really, really tight margin. So that's my problem with it. Pay-per-click is not, I wouldn't do it if you're just starting out in this business because it's like big boy stuff. And most people do pay-per-click have experience or they have another business in that field, and that's why they do really well with it. So just my opinion. So take it or leave it. Okay, guys, let's see here. You guys answer most of the questions yourself. So guys, that's pretty much it. I love that you guys join me on Friday evenings. I will be on next week. Remember, me and Zach going live Thursday together. We do a mastermind. Zach does Tuesday and Wednesdays, and I do Friday. And guys, make the best of this weekend. Go out there and get deals on it. There are no time clocks in wholesaling. It's about gaining freedom of your time and financially be free. And I want you all to grasp it and get it. Guys, this is Rick with Flip with Rick, and I'll see you real soon. You have a blessed day, and I'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.